every need, every child, every day. And it's literally that simple. Our goal and objective in instructional services and here at Lancaster Independent School District is to make sure we meet every need of every child every day, socially, emotionally, and the needs of their families as well, and of course academically.
Easy to say, I would imagine a larger challenge to actually do.
It's a monumental lift, but it's a lift that we do collaboratively. You're interviewing me, but there are a plethora of other people that actually makes this happen, including the family and including our community as well. But all of this is led by support from the Board of Education, and we have a superintendent who gives us two words, and that's fix it. And 4 years ago, we were not in this position. We had 186 students at risk of not graduating in December. And when we gave her that number, she said those two words for me, and she walked out. She said, fix it, and she walked out. And at that particular time, Mr. Strickland was the principal. And he put together a plan of action where on a Saturday, we spent an entire Saturday where we had a team of about 18 of us. And everybody had about 10 to 12 homes to visit, to get the parents on board, to let them know this is what your child needs to graduate. And when those parents came together, those teachers came together, the principals came together, the district office came together, we were able to move those 186 students. And from that point on, we put systems in place. And this year, we only had 4 students that were at risk in December. So we're doing some great things in Lancaster Independent School District, but it's a total collaborative effort to achieve that 4 consecutive years of 100% graduation rate.
Can you believe 4 consecutive years of 100%?
Yes, it has become our standard. That's the expectation now, that every single child graduates. We take a deep look into their academics, their attendance, and their behavior. We do that every 3 weeks, every 6 weeks, and every grading period to ensure that our students are on track, and our counselors are constantly and consistently, kudos to those counselors, constantly checking the grades, and they are communicating with the principals, and the principals are communicating with us at the district office. And our superintendent has given us the autonomy to remove any barrier. I have access to 6 vehicles, and if a child calls and they need a ride, it's just a matter of going to pick them up.
Yeah, and tell me again, because you had just said it, you walk into the job, in this December, we had this risk, now we're here.
Mm-hmm. Keep pushing, and now the same energy and laser focus we've been giving our seniors, we're starting to do that in all grade levels. But definitely when we're speaking for our high school students, that journey starts in elementary school. This particular year, we have a stronger team. We have a more focused team, and we're excited. Our journey this year is we're on our way to an A, and I am super excited about the possibility of us actually getting there.
Yeah, and take me back 4 years ago, and I remember I'll say the first red carpet welcome of your first year. You told me a little bit about your story getting here. One of two things either happened. You were recruited directly by Dr. Pereira, or you had applied for the job.
Yes, I actually applied for the job. At that particular time, I was finishing off a 3-year contract in Calcasieu Parish, and I heard about Dr. Pereira actually moving here and the position becoming available. I applied, and my first position here was the Chief Academic Officer. At that particular time, during that particular journey, they saw something a little different in me, Dr. Barker particularly, and she said, Jack, you may be best suited as working in student services. But before that, we made a leadership shift, and we had a new principal here at the high school, so I had to leave that position of Chief Academic Officer and fill in the gap of assisting as a principal here and the middle school, and then I was moved to student services. So when I say every need, every child, every day, that is our actually motto. And actually myself personally, I'll do anything to ensure that our students are successful. The position doesn't even matter to me.
So did you learn of Lancaster just by way of hearing that Dr. Pereira was coming to the school district that you probably never heard of, in a town you never heard of, but saying, I want to work there with her?
Yes, I had no idea of Lancaster. independent school district of Lancaster, Texas at all. So I was totally new to it.
Man, but now I would imagine it feels like home.
Oh, this is home. This is actually home. This is actually going on my 5th year here. We've done some phenomenal things. It's a phenomenal city, phenomenal community as a whole, and of course some phenomenal kids.
And I'm realizing as you're telling this story, because I know everybody you're talking about, and I was freelancing long before I actually worked here, so I've seen a lot of what you were talking about. I didn't see before how closely you all work together, because I remember when that time at the middle school, then Jet got the middle school, you were here at the high school with Kim dealing with this, and then Jet would then come here. So
Yes.
man, that was talking about, and there's no need to go into a lot of detail, but man, in some cases, things were really at risk of the infrastructure in these places just falling apart. And somebody saying, all right, that's well outside my job title, but I'm gonna own that.
Yes. We have, as I stated, when Pereira actually told me those 2 words, our first year, fix it. So now we see the problem, we see the challenge. I don't even need permission. Many times she don't even know of some of the shifts that we actually do, and that's called earned autonomy. And so we just actually go fix the problem. That particular situation you're actually speaking of, the principal actually had left, and they had no principal. Well, I stepped in, and Miss Simpson actually stepped in as well, and we were actually here the entire day. And then we would leave here and go to the central office, and we would be there till about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock sometimes, doing our work that we should have been doing during the day. And that's an example of how we got to come together collaboratively to ensure that our students' needs are actually met.
Yeah, that's incredible. And going to, again, and I love how you're taking the time to explain the autonomy, because there was like 4 different questions I was going to have to get you there, but you already went there, which is perfect, perfect. With that, it's so interesting, and I want to honor who you are by also asking the question of, when we're talking about, sure, there's 6 district vehicles that you can use to go pick the kids up. Picking the kids up is not in your job description.
No, but it's actually in my life decision. My life decision and my life description. And that's by God. I'm actually a child of God. And I strongly believe this position that we're in is a divine assignment. We're actually placed in this position to help his most prized possession, and that's his children. And anytime I get a chance to help a child in any capacity, that's me. That's who I am at my core. I've been doing that since I was a child. I'm of 8 kids, and I am the second oldest. So I've been taking care of my younger brothers and sisters, and I'm doing the same thing right now in this position. I'm known as a fatherly figure to many of our students, and my job, my duty and responsibility is to ensure that our kids have everything they need to be successful.
And you've had such a storied career. Obviously, I know very well what you've done here. You had said Parrish before, so I guess there was some time in Louisiana. We haven't even touched on your time in Atlanta that you've shared with me. When did you know this is what you were meant to do?
Well, actually, my whole educational journey started with a child telling me that. It was a group of 3rd graders. It started in college, where I thought I was going to play professional ball. I was doing some guide right work, some volunteer work in the community, and a group of 3rd grade boys said, hey, man, you need to be a teacher. And I was like, no. And I asked why. And he said, well, people listen to you. And when you enter the room, people stop. Now, that's all that 3rd grade student actually told me at that particular time. But I took it to heart. And then I moved to Atlanta. I became a community coordinator for the city of Atlanta, where I designed and coordinated programs for youth at promise. I don't use the word at risk. And from there, another student told me, my little league quarterback said, hey, man, you might need to get into teaching. And I was like, why? He was like, as a coach, people listen to you. We need you to become an educator. And that's what I did.
And what was that word you use?
Um,
In place of at risk.
Oh, instead of at risk, at promise.
Oh,
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Yes, I don't use the word at risk. I use at promise. Because if our students have the right adult in their life, and all it takes is one, is a group that comes together collaboratively, but all it takes is one caring adult from a child going from here to hear. And then that's just igniting that flame. And once you have that flame ignited, they're ready. They're ready to go.
And dovetailing off of that, it's so important to you that when you have the opportunities to speak internationally, or even to something as intimate as our closed leadership conference here that we do for all of central office, and even some people at some of our schools here, that you tell these stories of these students. Why is that?
They have to know. You have to tell the story. People see the glory, but they don't know the story. I mean, you see the graduates. You see the average of 521 graduates these past 4 years. You see them on stage and celebrating. But man, some of them have gone through some serious trauma and some traumatic things to actually get to the point where they are. And I'll be sure to share that always with the adults, because education is frustrating. Teaching is frustrating. Leading in education is frustrating. But I constantly have to remind everybody, hey, don't give up. There's somebody out there waiting for you to ignite their flame. Because so many times in their lives, somebody came in, they lit the flame, and they blew it out.
And with that, I would hope that I am as hopeful about education as you are, as Dr. Pereira, because you pour into this 24/7. This is a lifestyle for all of you. As I say that, and I know with certainty what you do and your team does here is replicatable. And on paper, absolutely at scale, everywhere. And yet, there would seem to be the challenge of convincing other districts of that. Because it's one thing, hey, when they come to us, say, hey, how do you do it? Here's everything we do. Here's a checklist. There's nothing special. We are literally doing all of these things. Some of us, we have one job title, but really we're doing 2 or 3 of these jobs. And so what is it that could propel another district that wants to model what we do here? How can they do it?
Well, we actually, there are 4 T's that must be in place. That first T is the team. You have to have the right people. And we have had the right people in place in this district. Secondly, you must have the tenacity. You're talking about people with an unwavering spirit to ensure that our kids have everything that they need to be successful. The third T is you got to be willing to put in the time. And sometimes this is a 24-hour, 365-day-a-week job. I mean, we eat, drink, and sleep school improvement. That's the team that we're around in this district. That's how they operate. And most importantly, you have the talent. You got to have the talent. You got to have some talented people with impeccable interpersonal skills and the skills to ensure that our kids have everything that they need.
And as you're explaining this, Matt, you were doing it so much better than I ever could. And it's my job to know how to tell it well, and you're doing it better than I could. It's very sobering to me, because in seeing us as an example, and we very much are, you've helped put us on the map for that. As I look out to other districts, they may have some of the T's, but they may not as hard as they try to get all of them. And it breaks my heart, and man, just the sobering reality is not every district's gonna make it, and that means some of these kids aren't gonna make it. I would imagine that's part of what motivates you in the world that you can control.
Yes, I'm only successful if the kids are successful. That's our reality. We're in this job to ensure that our kids are successful, and I can't be successful if 100% of our students don't cross that stage. Not only cross the stage, but ensure they get into college, to ensure that they get into military, to ensure that they have a place to go and work if they actually choose that particular route. That is our responsibility as adults, and we take that very, very seriously.
And so you were always standing on stage. I would imagine that's a very special place for you at the end of that year to see that class.
Oh, I just sit back and watch, and as they get their diplomas, I just sit back and smile because I know the story. That's the time for their glory, but I know their story, and I share it around the world when I speak. I talk about the resiliency, the resolve, the intestinal fortitude that our actually students have. Not only our students, but our principals, our district administrators, our teachers, our parents, the community as a whole, because this is a community thing that, and it's a great community thing that we're actually doing.
And is there, as deep as you are in faith, and that is not only your foundation, it is certainly what propels you, and you're always very open about that. Is there additional motivation, again, where it's like, hey, other districts, not all these kids are going to make it, but when I walk into mine, I know if I walk in, these kids are going to make it.
Well, we've actually, and kudos to our superintendent, she created an environment, a school district, where we wake up in the morning and we say, I get to go to work instead of I got to go to work. That's a big difference. When you wake up and you say, man, I get to go to work instead I got to go to work. She's very supportive, and she has one thing and one thing in mind only, and that's what's best for our students. And it starts with that leadership at the top. And she gets full support from the Board of Education. And we're filled with what I call those 3 E's: energy, excitement, and enthusiasm for this particular work. And it's just a beautiful thing, man. I'm still like a kid. On Sundays, I still iron my clothes. I have them ready. I have my suit out. I have my shoes out on the bed, and I am ready for Monday morning, which is my favorite day of the week.
And the environment that you're talking about, that Dr. Pereira has created, you've got a lot of experience in different districts, different schools, and you certainly have colleagues and many, many more. You understand education around the world. How unique is what you've built here?
Oh, man, it's something beautiful, and I speak on this all the time. We always operate from the affective domain. Most school systems go straight to the cognitive. Okay, we're going to analyze the data. Did this child pass this test? What are their grades? What are their GPA? But we start from the affective domain over here. What does that child need socially, emotionally? What are the needs of the family? What are the needs of the community? And we focus on all those things here first. The cognitive piece take care of itself. And that's when that flame is ignited. When they see you care about their feelings, when they see you care about their community, when they see you care about them genuinely, then they go to a higher height.
Man, that's incredible. Tell me about Principal Jett and what she means to the team.
Oh, Principal Jett is just phenomenal. She operates from that affective domain, period. I've actually seen her firsthand give students multiple chances where many students should have been expelled from school. But she has a huge heart, and that's where it actually starts. She's extremely talented. She's smart. She's a phenomenal leader, and it's been a pleasure working with her these past 4 years. And I'm excited about this 5th year of 100% graduation rate and ensuring that all of our kids meeting all of their goals.
And one really poignant story with Jett, you certainly tell publicly, is a couple of years ago, a particular student, you just couldn't connect with them, which is rare, but certainly happens. She gave it a shot, and then take the story from there.
Yes, I've actually, as I've mentioned, been with Ms. Jett for the past 4 years. There's an actual student who has some serious issues going on at home. As you know, I'll go get the students. I'll always be able to connect with the students. But there's only been 4 students in my entire 22 years that I haven't been able to make a connection to. And this young man was one of them. And he actually gave up. And I've been working with this student from January all the way till about April. And very disrespectful to me. It's hard to disrespect me because I come at you with a great deal of respect. And I kind of like gave my hands up. And I said, you know what, Jett? We may need to let this student go because the student was out of district. It was close to graduation time. So you're talking about a couple of weeks, and I was like, he's going to have to go enroll somewhere else. Jett called me that night about 9:37. I remember the time. I knew it was urgent, her calling me at night. And she said, Dr. Jackson, he needs to stay with me. I'm going to take care of him. And I said, okay. I trust her. And I watched that child come back to school that next day. And every time he was switching classes, he was right there next to Ms. Jett. She would give him an encouraging word, and she was like, get to class. Okay, Ms. Jett. Okay, Ms. Jett. And now this child is doing some phenomenal things. He's a sophomore. He transferred from Paul Quinn to Texas City College in Tyler. and he's doing a phenomenal thing, some phenomenal things right now. But I do remember that story with Miss Jett, and it was time for her to fill in the gap for me at that particular time. We're always there supporting the principals, but I needed that support that time. And she said, you know what, Dr. Jackson, I'll keep that student with me. And he's doing extremely well. I spoke to him today.
That's got to mean the world to you.
Beautiful thing, beautiful thing.
So, yeah, so Employee of the Year, that's got to feel good.
Yes, that's actually, it feels extremely good to be voted on by your peers. First of all, somebody had to nominate you. Somebody had to think and said, hold on, who deserves this award? They had to put that name on a sheet of paper. You had to get X amount of votes to be placed on the ballot. Then people had to vote for you. So in the midst of me running around the district, somebody saw something and said, let me vote for Dr. Jackson to be Employee of the Year. It was a total surprise. I don't do awards. I don't do this for recognition, but it was good to be recognized by your peers for the work that you're actually doing.
And what was so funny about that day is obviously we basically called a fake meeting, though. We sort of talked about some budget. Yeah, exactly. But you're so busy doing what you really do, taking students, literally taking them to the high school or getting them resources.
I was late.
I'm sorry?
I say I was late. I was actually late to the meeting. And Kim called me. I said, I'm right around the corner. And then when I got in, I immediately found my spot where I'm usually at, and I was celebrating everybody else that was getting their awards, and I was just jumping up and just celebrating. I had no idea that I was going to be recognized as well.
Did you even believe it when they called your name?
No. And then they had the confetti everywhere, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I came around, because I was standing in the back, and I came around and actually took the pictures, and once again, it was just great to be recognized.
And I could be totally wrong, because I'm looking at from different perspectives, but from where I was standing, I'm like, because I knew in advance, because I'd have to know like who am I going to be filming. I'm like, does he think Kim called him up just to like say a few words? Because you'll say a few words of something at many meetings like that.
Uh-huh.
So from my perspective, I'm like, does he not know he's Employee of the Year yet? Even though you're walking out.
It was actually it was humbling, but at the same time, it was a shock. It was a shock as well. But once again, I was so gracious that my colleagues actually thought to put me on the ballot to be nominated and for people to vote for me.
Yeah. And then real quick, when you have the opportunity to speak, that is very important to you, because and again, I don't want to choose the words for you. You'll probably choose better ones. That's your chance to inspire other leaders to do the same thing.
Leadership is tough. Leadership is tough, and as I go around the world and actually speak, I bring these success stories that I have, and people need to hear them because this can be a hopeless job sometimes. We're inheriting all the problems and the challenges of the world. They come to us in our school, and our kids are carrying the weight of the world with them, and we live in a crazy, crazy world. But once we get inside these walls, we have an opportunity to change the future, and that is done through our students. And it all starts with leadership. It all starts with leadership.
Awesome, cool. So yeah, last question is, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm excited about the 25-26 school year. I can't wait for us to have an opportunity to have more stories. I'm excited about the challenges. I'm excited about the team that we have to face those challenges. And once again, this 25-26 school year will be another successful school year because that's the standards we have set in Lancaster Independent School District.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your patience and for all that
That wasn't quick, was it? He said that was going to be quick, wasn't it? Huh? That's what they called it?